Hey, what's up, Reefers? We are going to try something a little different this time. We are going 4K, and it has been a while since I've done a tank update on the 45-gallon tank, so I figure it is in high time. So for the last few weeks, I have been traveling a lot and just busy with my side business, so I have not really paid too much attention to this tank, and a lot has changed. So let's go over some of the happier stuff. Since we're on this side, let's talk about the rose pulp anemone. As you can see, that one big rose pulp anemone has become two. Actually three. We got this piece right here, and the rainbow kind of got tucked to the side. But at first, I was kind of sad that that big anemone split into two. But after seeing how it kind of conforms to the rock a lot better, I figure it's actually quite a nice change. Because right now, if you look at it, it just fits escape so much better. I really miss my old tank where we have the bubble tip anemone hanging off to one side, creating like a cliff effect. Versus like before, when we have just one big anemone, it just looked like a blob. But now it just fits the rockwork so much better. And if we slide over here, we see the frog spawn has really increased in size. It's really growing a lot. It has been growing a lot this past 2-3 months. And speaking of growing a lot, the Mondipora cap has been exploding in growth as well. I think it has really exploded in growth the last, I'll say, three months or so. And I really attribute this to dosing the BLS 2 parts. Because of the dosing, the alkalinity and calcium has been a lot more stable, and it shows. Just look at how large it has become. Now you notice that the bicolor blenny is still hanging out in the Monty cap, and yes, you're right, I have not caught him yet. I tried to catch him, man, for the past, has it been 3 months already? I think it's at least 3 months. I have no luck. I tried everything. I tried fish trap. I tried just trying to net him at night. I even tried using a vet vac to try to like suck him out from the hose, and it has been confirmed that it is totally safe. It's a rough ride, but it goes straight into the bucket, not through the motor or anything like that. But no luck at all with any of the method. So for now, I'm just gonna leave him there. The fact that the SPS has become this size, the little bite mark is not as damaging as it was when it's just a little frag, so I think it may be okay. I'll still try to get him out of the tank just for the sake of the other SPS he may be picking on, but for now I'm just gonna leave it alone until he do more damage. Now let's slide over here. The Gorgonian has really taken off, at least the part that is under direct flow. And that's one thing I noticed. Like usually the Gorgonian is growing pretty slow, but as soon as it hits that strong flow, it just explodes. And coming down here, the Christmas tree warm rock is getting a lot bolder. Actually, yeah, usually when I stand right in front of the tank, they all just kind of tucked away and hide away. But in the last couple of weeks, even when I'm in front of a tank, it just kind of hang out in the front, and just it's super nice because I have been wanting to do a lot of macro shot of these guys, but every single time I come near the tank, they just hide. But I guess they're slowly getting used to all the commotion in front of a tank. And sliding down here, you notice that I super glued some Rasta Zoas, and they've been there for I think like almost 2 months now, and they're finally opening up nice and large. My hope is that they'll start spreading a little bit at the bottom. You'll see that the left side is not too much going on, so I'm hoping that that's going to spread. If not, it'll be easily scraped off. Now coming down here, and speaking of anemone splitting, those red little guys, right? Those are the Bali Mini Maxi Carpet Anemone. I used to have one. But after I came back from Orlando, right, just gone for a week and a half, we now got two. Same thing, that's also the same time that the rose pulp anemone split. So something must have happened that week. Miss Average Reefer, I don't know what you did when you're over at my tank, but please come back and do it again so my anemone can split again. But those guys are doing really well. The frog spawn here and the indigo torch seems to be coexisting pretty good. Sometimes a tentacle touch, but not sticking, meaning they're not stinging. Now, right under here, there was a Aussie gold torch before. That did not do too well. It was touching the frog spawn, and I thought it's okay because I mean they are sticking but not hitting the actual disc, and I thought okay, I'll just move it later. But it gotten to be a little bit too much for the Aussie gold torch, and one of the head is actually receded really badly. So I kind of just put him on the frag rack for now to recover. But that definitely did not go well with the Aussie gold torch. Alright, since we're talking about torch, right here, this torch colony has grown. It used to be gold, but it's more like a gold / green in my tank. But it went from like 2 heads to, I think I got like 5 or 6 heads now. So that is awesome. But it got that little corner all to itself. And over here, we got this lone space invader 2 eyes right here. I kept it away really far from that coral because that coral sent up some crazy sweepers. But it's pretty happy here. I thought I'll let it grow here to adapt to the light and get a little bit larger before I find a permanent spot for it. Still don't know where I'm going to put this guy, but it's going to be somewhere kind of right in front of everybody's face because this is one of my favorite pieces of coral. And speaking of favorite coral, we got some of these xenia right here. This is still like an enigma. Because once in a while, I'll find these xenia to be pulsing nicely. Usually it's when the light is off. Same with those guys right there. You can see them pulsing slowly right there for a little bit. But for the most part, when the light is on, it just kind of stays still. It doesn't really pulse much. There are a lot of speculation on why. Some people are saying that maybe there's enough energy from the light, so the xenia doesn't need to like open and close pump water to filter feed. There's just a lot of different speculation and nobody really for sure know why. So it'd be great if like BLS TV or some of the bigger channel can do a little research on this. There was a research paper done on xenia actually. I think the idea is that the pulsing in a group, right, will kind of create some kind of water circulation for them to filter feed, but I'm not sure if that's definitive. So if there's some additional research on it, that'd be fantastic. Now sliding over there, the hammer is doing beautiful as always, and let's look behind the hammer. Behind the hammer, we got that squamosas clam from Mighty Nano tank that I picked up. I have been dosing this tank with DT phytoplankton, I think 2 or 3 times a week, and I add a lot. I add about 40 or 50 drops, so it's pretty aggressive. And I will usually just turn off the skimmer and let it cycle for a little bit. I'll also dose ROE and also oyster egg. Not sure if the clam actually take advantage of them, but I figure better more than less. And of course we got the elegance in the back, not completely opened up at this time, but usually it becomes like pretty large and puff and healthy in the back. Over here, the Zoa gardens are growing well. Other chaos doing well. The Fruit Loop seems to have receded a little bit, but slowly opening and coming back up. And I actually pick up this Mysteries Pally that I'm not sure what it is from Orlando, from Top Shelf Aquatic. So if you know what this is, please let me know. And of course, we got Fang Banger. That is actually my Reef Club's Zoa Grow contest from last time. And the A-Can's also doing well. Check out all the heads this is sprouting. I got this for maybe 2 or 3 months. Picked this up from the Depth Fish Place frag swap a while back. And right here, of course, is the Billy Pipe A-Can that's looking good. And over here, I'm really starting to love these Magician Pally. They just got really interesting pattern over there. And over here, we got the Purple Death that is kind of holding steady. And sliding over here, we got everybody's favorite Redectus. I just noticed I actually got 5 mushrooms now. I used to have 2. I used to have 2 maybe 2 years ago. These are super slow growing, and I don't think anybody actually got a name for these guys yet. So I've seen these Redectus at Worldwide Coral as well as Top Shelf. I asked both of them, what are these called? Do they have a name? And they both said that there's no name yet. So if you want to name a coral, this may be it. And coming over here, we got the Yasha Gobi. Kind of gave up trying to find her a mate because the last time I got him out, he disappeared after I think, what is it, like 4 days? So for now, she is paired up with the pistol shrimp. By the way, it looks kind of dirty on the sand, but it's actually just the light. I do have a little bit of diatom right here, this little batch, but all those are white. And sliding up, we can see the frag rack. Actually, let me see if we can look from here. So in the frag rack, right here is the jawbreaker. You see that there's actually a tiny baby in the back. Now the funny story is that it actually produced another baby before. It was about a dime size, and I was trying to frag it off the plug. I actually scraped a little bit of the plug off of it as well, and I glued it to a different plug, but overnight it disappeared, and I've been trying to find it in the tank ever since, and sadly no luck so far. And over here we got some really cool looking zoas that Telegram hooked me up with. It's kind of hard to see right here, but it got like, I think like a red and green oral disc and red skirt, so it looks really cool. And of course back there we got the Aussie Gold Torches recovering, the 24K Lepto that was being shaded by the Monty and have to pull and put on the frag rag is recovering right now. And right there of course we got our sweet little Ghost Stripe Neon Goby right there from Top Shelf Aquatic in Orlando. Really cool little guy. Alright guys, so that about wrap up all the good updates on this tank so far. Let's talk about some of the bad things that happened. Number one, you'll notice that in terms of Ghost Stripe Neon Goby, which is back there, I only have one. That is because a couple days ago when I got home, I found the emerald crab munching on the other Ghost Stripe Neon Goby.
Flashback.
Damn guys, came home, found out the Ghost Stripe Neon Goby passed away, and the cleanup crew are fighting over the body. Jesus, this sucks. We got the emerald crab there, we got cleaner shrimp, and we got solid hermit trying to get to it. It did not happen that long ago, I think. It's still quite fresh, and they're just fighting over the body.
End of flashback.
Man, I was heartbroken, especially since we brought him all the way from Orlando, and they came as a captive bred pair. It was really tough pill to swallow. I felt really bad. To be honest, the fish actually looks really healthy. Stomach is full, and obviously this other one is perfect. I almost feel like the emerald crab may have just took advantage of a situation, just caught the Ghost Stripe Nano. The Ghost Stripe Neon Goby. Of course, I have no proof because I was not there, but both of them were so healthy before. So honestly, I have some suspicion on my emerald crab. They just find an easy target. Alice, either way, we do have only one left. So right now, I'm left with the decision on whether I want to try to find another one to pair her up with, or just kind of leave her by herself. I don't know. The other sad thing I'm really sorry to report is that in my last update, you noticed that I bought a electric flame scallop. And it was happy for maybe 3 days. I even fed him on the last 2 days, and it was kind of pumping to get the food in. So I thought, okay, looks like we got a healthy specimen and it should be well. Yeah, that died today. I found him wedged in there with the shell kind of like close on a rock. It's almost like it's wedged in place. So I wonder if it's kind of like stuck there, or if it died and then just muscle contract and climb up to the rock. Honestly, again, I don't know. What I know is that I do see emerald crab on the scene picking him apart again. Then again, in this case, I'm not gonna blame the emerald crab because like if it's a healthy scallop, there's no way emerald crab could get to it. So either it did not make acclimation, it was not healthy to begin with, or it starved, which I don't know because it was eating like 2 or 3 days ago. Oh, sorry, it was eating the last 2 days, so I honestly do not know. But chances are I probably won't try one of those again, at least in this tank. The last bit of sad news is that you notice the tank is really empty. That is because I have moved all the green chromis down to the refugium, getting ready to rehome them. But as I was making arrangement for them to be picked up, it took a little bit longer than expected. They were living down there for I think 2 weeks or so, and then they start dropping like flies. They drop really fast. It's like every other day I'll find one missing. And I only found 1 or 2 bodies. The other one just kind of simply disappeared. But I have 2 left, and they have been steady, and they've been living in the refugium ever since. I'm still trying to find a good home for them, but unfortunately nobody seems to like green chromis, especially when there's only 2. So for now, they seem to be happy in the refugium. I will probably not move them back here simply because of how aggressive the clowns got to be near the end. But at the same time, I have a suspicion that the clowns are actually what was keeping the shoal, the seven of them alive, because of they kind of randomly dive on them and keep them in check. So that is the situation with the green chromis. So I do have a pair of green, I'm not sure if they're a pair, but I do have 2 green chromis that get along well in the refugium right now. If you're interested, if you live in the area, Maryland, Virginia, DC, let me know if you have a home for them. Really appreciate it. Alright, Reefer, so that is all the good, the bad updates of this tank. So in terms of what's going to happen in the future, right now I feel like this section is pretty nice. All the corals are kind of growing in, but this section needs work. So that is what I'm going to be focusing on now. As much as I like the Christmas tree warm rock, it's not really, it doesn't quite fit in here. So I may move this. Oh man, do you see the bicolor blend just kind of pick that things? Man. But anyways, that rock may move somewhere else, and I may try to get something here. I have been thinking about a Colorado Sunburst bubble tip anemone. Those guys goes for a ridiculous amount of money, but that is on my want list. Then again, I want a lot of things, but I thought something like that will go awesome right here. Just something flowy here that is not just straight up green or red, because we have a lot of that color in this tank already. And coming a little bit over here, I think it would be nice to have something in the back as well. Right now we got Elegance, but it's not totally happy. It's not as large as it is before, so I don't think it's completely happy back there. Although the Gold Stripe Neon Goby really likes chilling over there, so it may be sad if I moved it. Over here on the Zoa Garden, I think there are a lot of bare spots here, and I have a lot of plugs, so I still need to remove the Zoas or Pallies from their plug and mount them directly onto rock, and hopefully this area will be more encrusted. It'll look a lot more lived in. But overall, I think the tank is looking a lot more grown in compared to a couple months ago when I first moved this in. I started like pulling frog spawn frags out and stuff like that. It's definitely got a more grown in look, which I like a lot. So this tank, I believe, is heading in the right direction. By the way, here's the starfish. Seems to be doing well. Seems to be finding enough food around the tank. So that is good news. But yeah, so my focus will be again on this section and this section. Over here, I think the Monty cap may need a little fragging soon. It got about an inch or two left between the colony and the glass. And also, it's already starting to shade a lot of corals down there. What I can do is pretty much just put mushroom down there, and that's pretty much it. So I'll need to find some way to frag these colony back without breaking the whole thing apart or making it look really weird. So I have no idea. I've never really fragged a Monty cap of this size before. I'm just so afraid that if I break something, the whole thing's gonna fall apart on me. Although that may not be a bad thing. Alright, so that's it for this update. So it's actually kind of a pain in the butt to shoot in 4K because it overheats so quickly. The first run is like 5 minutes, and then it's every 2 or 3 minutes it overheats. Let me know if you guys actually like this 4K resolution. Like, does it make a difference? If not, I'm going to go back to 1080p, or there's another lower version of 4K. This is 4K, I think 100 megabits. There's a 60 version, so I'm not sure how big of a difference it makes. So if you enjoyed it, please leave a comment and let me know what you think. Should I keep shooting in 4K or go back to 1080p? Yeah, we'll see. Always fun to try different technology, right? Alright guys, sorry for the really rush update because it keeps overheating. It just kind of like, I need to get used to talking in small chunks versus one long stream. But maybe that's a good thing. Alright, with that said, I'll catch you guys next week. Make sure to subscribe because a lot of awesome update from Orlando coming. So before this overheats again, I'm gonna sign off. Talk to you guys later. Have a good week.
Doing here?
No, we're here at World Like Cool, so we're gonna, bring them along and check out the facility.
Cool.
Let's do it.